In today's world, feelings can grow quickly. A glance turns into a message turns into a meeting, and before you know it, what felt innocent can slowly drift into what's forbidden. So, how do you build a connection with someone you care about, without stepping into sin? How do you love someone, physically, in a way that still pleases Allah? Many think Islam says no to love, but that's not true. Islam says yes to love, with boundaries, with respect, with purity. The truth is, you can connect in ways that are close, meaningful, even physical, without disobeying Allah. But it takes intention, it takes wisdom, and above all, it takes taqwa, the deep awareness that Allah is watching. In this video, we're going to explore 5 ways to show physical closeness in a halal way during dating or courtship, without falling into sin. These ways are powerful, they protect you, and they prepare your love for the most important connection of all, marriage with barakah. Stay until the end, because what you're about to learn may help your heart stay strong and your relationship stay clean. Number 1. The power of proximity without touch. Sometimes we think love must be proven through physical closeness, through holding hands, through a hug, or through casual touches. But Islam teaches something much deeper, something much more powerful, the value of presence without physical contact. The Prophet ﷺ once said, "Among the things I fear most for my ummah is falling into the desires of the self." Desires begin quietly, often not with action, but with closeness. Just being near someone you care about can awaken feelings, but that nearness, if guided by the light of taqwa, can become a source of barakah rather than temptation. Picture this: sitting in a public place where there are people around, talking openly with mutual respect, lowering your gaze, keeping a good distance, yet still feeling a sincere connection. Or walking side by side in a group setting, keeping a safe space between you, sharing meaningful words while both your hearts stay clean. These moments hold deep emotional value, even more than touch ever could. What you're doing in that moment is not hiding love, you're protecting it. You're placing a shield around something precious. You're showing that your care is not built on physical pleasure, but on patience, discipline, and honor. You're saying with your behavior, "I choose the way of Allah, even when my heart pulls me elsewhere. I want to be near you, but only in the way that Allah allows." And that kind of nearness, that kind of presence, is more intimate than many realize. You don't need to hold someone's hand to hold space for them. You don't need to sit shoulder to shoulder to make your intentions clear. Your respectful distance is not a weakness, it is a sign of strength. A sign that your feelings are not fleeting, but grounded in purpose. Proximity, when used wisely, builds trust. It teaches patience, and it allows your bond to grow without rushing, without guilt, and without regret. So remember, you can be close without crossing the line, and in that space between you, filled with respect and restraint, Allah places light. Number 2. The language of eyes and smiles. There is a form of connection that doesn't need words or even touch. It happens through the face, through a kind smile, a respectful glance, and the way your eyes reflect what's in your heart. The Prophet Muhammad was known for his warmth. He wasn't just a messenger, he was a man of mercy, always gentle in his approach. His smile brought ease to people. It gave hope. It made others feel safe. He said, "Smiling in the face of your brother is charity, tirmidhi." This wasn't only about jokes or laughter, it was about offering light through simplicity. A genuine, modest smile can reach someone's heart. And when done with sincerity and good intentions, it's not only beautiful, it's rewardable in the eyes of Allah. In the context of halal courtship, your smile can mean many things without saying a word. It can say, "I respect you. I am grateful for this connection. I want this journey to be clean and sincere." It reminds the other person that your love is not based on lust, but on values, that you're not playing with their emotions, you're walking with them towards something sacred. Now what about the eyes? Yes, the eyes are powerful, but that power must be managed carefully. Allah commands both believing men and women to lower their gaze, not to disconnect completely, but to keep the heart clean. Looking at someone with controlled modesty, brief, respectful, and purposeful, can still express thoughtfulness. You don't need to stare. You don't need to scan their face. A single, mindful glance that carries sincerity is often more impactful than 1,000 flirtatious looks. When your eyes hold truth, they won't tempt. When your smile is gentle, it won't mislead. And when both are controlled by the fear of Allah, they become tools of beauty rather than tests of desire. Smiles are allowed, glances are allowed, but both must come from a place of self-control, not to invite sin, but to maintain dignity, not to feed the nafs, but to strengthen the intention. Use your face not to impress, but to express good character. Because sometimes the softest gestures are the ones that stay in someone's heart forever, especially when they come with respect, modesty, and faith. Number 3. Sharing spiritual spaces together. When we talk about closeness and love, many people only think of physical gestures. But the most powerful kind of closeness is the kind that happens between souls. And nothing brings two hearts together in a purer, deeper way than remembering Allah, side by side. You don't need to hold hands to feel connected. You don't need to be alone together to feel something special. Sometimes, simply being in the same space, while focusing on Allah, creates a bond that no physical act could ever match. Imagine this: sitting across from each other in a public Islamic class, both of you listening to a scholar talk about deen, or being on a group video call after Fajr, quietly reading dhikr together. Or even sharing the same Quranic reflection at the same time each day and texting what it means to you. These are moments that don't just bring your hearts together. They bring Allah into your connection. The Quran says, "And He placed between you affection and mercy." Surah Rum 21. Affection is beautiful, mercy is even greater. But these gifts from Allah are only placed between those who seek Him first. That's when love becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a form of worship. There is a unique type of peace that comes when you can talk about your relationship with Allah more than your feelings for each other. When your conversations aren't just about the future of us, but also about how to get closer to Him. When your hearts both beat, not only for love but for obedience, sincerity, and tawakkul. Being spiritually present in each other's life means encouraging salah, reminding each other of sabr, making dua for each other quietly when no one sees. Even if you're physically apart, your souls are side by side, walking the same path toward Jannah. That's not just love. That's light. So when you think of intimacy, don't forget the spiritual kind. It's the kind that doesn't fade, the kind that builds foundations, the kind that prepares you for marriage, not just a moment. And when Allah is the center of your bond, then everything else, desires, struggles, hopes, begin to fall into the right place, gently, naturally, and with barakah. Number 4. The halal power of gesture and gifts. Real connection doesn't always come through words or physical closeness. Sometimes it comes through actions, small, sincere, and thoughtful. In Islam, physical intimacy isn't limited to touch. It can also be shown through respectful gestures, the kind that speak directly to the heart without crossing any boundaries. A kind gesture could be as simple as giving a book of du'as that helped you during hard times, or maybe writing a short letter with words of encouragement and good intentions. Even something like buying a cup of tea or a small gift card to their favorite bookstore can mean so much, if it's done with a clean heart and a halal mindset. The Prophet Muhammad's son taught us, "Give gifts, for it will increase love between you." Bukhari. Gifts in Islam are not about impressing others. They're about increasing love. They're about bringing hearts closer in a way that respects the limits of Sharia. You're not trying to win someone with grand gestures. You're simply showing that you care, without overstepping. In a relationship that isn't yet sealed by nikah, your love should be careful and clear. That doesn't mean it has to be cold or distant. It means you choose actions that protect both of you. You can give, but not take what doesn't belong to you. You can show love, but only within the boundaries that Allah has set. Even the act of sharing a meal can be done in a halal way. Sitting apart in a respectful setting, no physical contact, no flirtation, just two people appreciating a shared moment while staying conscious of their intentions. When love is shown with wisdom, it becomes more powerful. Because it says, "I want this to last. I want this to be pure. I want Allah to bless us." Let every gift you give be a reflection of restraint. Let every gesture show that your love is not impatient. It's intentional. And most importantly, let your actions say, "I care for you, but I care about how I show it even more." Because the way you love now is shaping the kind of marriage you'll have later. And when you choose to honor each other with thoughtful, halal actions, you are planting seeds of love that are rooted in dignity, protected by values, and watered with sincerity. Number 5. The power of intentional absence and restraint. One of the most misunderstood parts of love is this. We often think that to prove love, we must always be present, always available, always near. But in Islam, real love, pure love, is sometimes proven not by being close, but by staying away when it matters most. Real love is not just about what you give, it's also about what you protect. It's not shown by how much time you spend together, but by what you're willing to sacrifice to keep the connection clean. Sometimes, the most powerful form of physical connection is actually found in holding back. This means choosing to avoid late-night conversations that stir the heart too much. It means fasting together, not just from food, but from desires that might lead to sin. It means being honest with yourself and saying, "We're not married yet, so we will guard this love like a treasure, not handle it like a toy." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever among you is able to marry, let him marry. But whoever cannot, let him fast, for it is a shield." Bukhari and Muslim. This shield protects your intentions, your purity, and your future. When you fast, you're not just avoiding food, you're learning how to control yourself. And that self-control becomes your strength in every part of your relationship. Choosing to create space isn't rejection, it's respect. It says, "I honor what we have too much to damage it by rushing." It says, "You are worth waiting for." And most importantly, it says, "I love you for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of my desire." Intentional absence builds character. It gives the heart room to grow. It teaches both people how to rely on Allah, not just each other. Because when love becomes too focused on constant presence, it starts depending on the other person more than on faith. But when you choose discipline over desire, when you walk away from temptation even when it's hard, you're not weakening your relationship, you're making it strong enough to last. True love is not desperate, it's deliberate. And when your love includes periods of silence, distance, or waiting with purpose, it means you're building something deeper than attraction. You're building a future that Allah can bless. So never fear the space you create for purity. Because in that space, hearts become sincere. And in that sincerity, love becomes real. Love without regret. Love is not haram. Desire is not a sin. A sin. What Islam teaches us is how to guide these feelings in a way that protects our hearts and pleases our Creator. Islam doesn't tell you to stop loving. It tells you to love with purpose, to love with respect, to love with boundaries that keep your soul safe. You're not being told no to affection. You're being shown the right time, the right way, and the right intention for it. That's not restriction, that's protection. So if you found someone you care about, someone you see a future with, don't test how far you can go physically. Instead, test how strong your self-control is. Test how much you're willing to wait. Test how well you can protect each other until Allah brings you together through nikah. Love them without touching them. Respect them by not taking what's not yet yours. Hold back, so that one day when you do hold them, it will be with honor, not regret. Because when you put Allah first in your love story, when you choose patience over pressure, when you choose prayer over passion, you don't just protect your dignity, you protect your future. And know this. What begins with Allah, what is guarded for His sake, what is shaped by faith and not by impulse, it will never lead to heartbreak. It will never end in shame. Because love that waits for Allah's timing will always be worth it, and it will always be without regret.